So it's my first time getting a chance to come out to the garden in a few days because we have had a lot of storms, and I'm seeing that a lot of my sunflowers have fallen over. I tried to get them tied up better before all of the storms came. Man, that really stinks. I mean, they're all the way up to the roof almost. I'm gonna try to get these guys staked back up, but I don't know. Looks like we have some white night and white light I could possibly harvest. Man, this stinks. And it's gonna be difficult to get in here because I'm gonna have to do it. Let's go get the Crocs on. Looks like we have some amaranth falling over also. Look at all of these weeds, you guys. This gives me so much anxiety to have all of these weeds. I usually want to keep my beds 100% weed free, but I've just realized, you know, whoa, let's not trip. I just realized that, you know, I grew a lot of things this year to experiment, and I just cannot keep up with all of the weeds. Look at this basil looking so good. But I just can't, I can't do it. Like, I can't run a household, keep up with the garden, do all of my mom jobs and work, and make bouquets. I just can't do it, and keep the gardens 100% weed free. So next year, I think I'm going to downsize the garden a little bit, just until my 2-year-old gets a little bit older, because I just can't do it all. And I would rather have a smaller garden and a 100% weed-free garden than to have a larger garden and to have all of these weeds, because I just don't like it. I'm also going to do landscape fabric, so that is going to help next year. And there's also so many things like these that I didn't get around to harvesting and putting in bouquets because I just didn't have the time. So I don't want to have this situation next year where, you know, all of these things kind of go to waste. Like, I spend all the time to seed them and care for them and transplant them and grow them and water them, and then they sit out here and die basically because I didn't have the time to harvest them and arrange them and sell them or even give them away. And so I definitely think I need to just downsize it. I'm the type of person that I can't just start small. I have to go big or go home, and I'm working on that. We've got some broken Hortonova netting. I don't know what animal is doing it. I feel like a rabbit wouldn't be heavy enough to break it. I know that I've been getting rabbits in the garden, but I haven't noticed anything being eaten. So I'm not sure what they've been nibbling on, but I just seeded the day before we started getting the storms. I seeded this entire bed of zinnias and sunflowers, but they've probably all washed away. I didn't sow them very deeply. We've got lots of empty spaces that need to be resown that I've been working on starting seeds for, like from the Bells of Ireland and the Bachelor Buttons and Baby's Breath and things like that. We've got some calendula that some of them were doing okay, but a few of them got stomped on by my dog the day after I transplanted them. And then we've just had so much rain that I'm afraid they may end up with root rot. But I mean, overall, not too much damage. This is my first time growing straw flower. It's very, it's very interesting the way it feels, just like so papery. Look at this damage from, I don't know if it's flea beetles, potato beetles. I think that's a potato beetle, that with the red head and the black and white stripes. I'm not sure. I could be wrong. That right there. I'm pretty sure that's what's doing all this damage though. So we got some things. Oh, we got some blooms on these too. But yeah, so we've got some cleaning up to do, but nothing too horrible, I suppose. But the sunflowers is really heartbreaking because I wanted to, you know, have that look really good, have like a backdrop sort of deal, and be able to take pictures in front of it. And so hopefully we can get these blank spaces filled back in and get these propped back up. You would be amazed at how far, you know, how much they can take, even though they are leaning down pretty far. I've had that happen before, and I was able to stake them back up, and they did just fine, because sunflowers do have extremely long tap roots, I'm told. So I think that helps them to not be bothered too much when this happens. I cannot believe how much these beds have filled in just in the past month. It doesn't look like we really suffered any damage in the vegetable beds or in the perennial cut flower garden. I need to come up with a new name because it's not all perennials. But the LISIANTHUS and the dahlias, the zinnias, the sunflowers, the carnations, everything is just blooming their heads off. I'm loving it. I really needed to get out here and harvest these this morning, but I just wasn't able to do it. My son woke up early this morning, so with all the rain and the humidity and the heat, they are just all popping open so quickly. Next year, I will definitely be growing these under some sort of cover because although they're beautiful and I love them and I will always grow them no matter what, from now on, their petals are quite fragile. So they get, you know, imperfections from bugs pretty easily and from rain. And when we do get rain, it's usually a lot of rain, a hard rain, all at once, very quickly. It's not usually just a light rain or a sprinkle. It's usually, you know, oh my gosh, we've got some of the blue picotee. Oh my gosh, those are gorgeous. So exciting. Oh my gosh, that is absolutely beautiful. Even the buds are gorgeous. Oh wow. You guys, I'm telling you, if you don't grow these, you've got to do it. They are so beautiful. Wow, that is gorgeous. Alright, so I'm going to go add some more LISIANTHUS seeds to my cart for next year. And then I'm going to get doing some maintenance in this garden. Let me see how far down. I'm in my tennis shoes right now. Let me see how far down I can go to show you without. So it looks like we've got some laid over sunflowers, but nothing too bad. The carnations, it doesn't look like a lot of them held up very well. I tried to string them up a little bit. I should have planted them differently, but I was trying to plant something with the tulips before they were done to maximize space. So I forgot about the fact that they were a flower that needed netted. And so next year we'll definitely do better on that. We've got some dahlias. Well, it looks like only one that's going to need staked. They're very droopy considering how much rain we've gotten. I mean, it is quite warm, but I'm hoping that these aren't getting any kind of root rot or anything like that, and that's why they're so droopy and wilty. Because I feel like with the amount of moisture in the ground, they shouldn't be wilting, even though it's hot. But it looks like we only have one that's needing staked. And not even staked, I just need to tie it to the stake. I need to check on the tomatoes. But yeah, like I said, not too bad.